I'm going to talk about trying to reconnect with the people on my ship. So if you haven't watched my video about my out-of-body experience, finding my life purpose, please go watch that video. And I do want to remind everyone that I am 80% deaf, and it's very hard for me to speak, and I probably will mispronounce words. So August of last year, 2024, I had an out-of-body experience on a plant medicine journey, and I discovered my people, my tribe of people. So I wanted to reconnect with them and go back to them, of course. So I tried the plant medicine again, but I did not reach the people on my ship. I had a different experience. It was not negative. It was just not what I wanted. So I waited a week and I doubled my dose, trying to get back to the people on my ship. It didn't work. I don't know what exactly I experienced, but it was 12 hours. And I do remember seeing ancient people. I don't know how to describe them. They were just ancient or highly evolved spiritual beings. They had robes on and scrolls of notes or records of strolls. I don't know how to describe it. And they were just coming in and leaving in my subconscious. At one point, Scott Smith, I did hear his voice. He's one that he was possessed. And I mean, this guy shift in front of me. His whole image changed before my eyes. I don't know what had hold of him, but it was not good. And he released an entity that attached herself to me. Scott Smith also held me hostage, and I had to escape. So I can talk about these things now because I'm healed. And he did come to me during my journey and said, I need you to release me to the light. So I did. I released him. And I released others during that journey. I remember at one point I was part of a ship. I was the wood that was used. I was wood that was used to make a ship. And I knew how important it was for the people on the ship to reach land, that they were literally depending upon this ship. And I could feel that. So energy never dies. I don't remember being a tree, and I don't remember being cut down. I only remember being built in that ship and the urgency of those people's safety. So that was an incredible feeling. And anyways, I've recovered from that 12-hour journey with a little disappointment because I wanted to reach the people on my ship. So my higher self explained, you just have another hypnosis session. So I did. And during the hypnosis session, when I started going under, the trees moved in a way that created steps for me to go down as my hypnosis was taking me to a deeper level of consciousness. And at the bottom of the stairs, the trees formed a bench for me to sit on. I have such a connection with the trees. It's just overwhelming when I'm hiking because I can feel their love, and I do love them. As soon as I sat down on the bench, I could see my ship, so I walked to the ship. And once I got on the ship, all the people were there, my people. I was in some sort of hologram, I guess you could say. One of the members of the ship had some sort of technology that put me in the form of a hologram, and that's how I could see everyone, and that's how everyone was seeing me. And there was 22 levels on that ship. Everything that we needed was on that ship. And it was explained to me that this is where the idea came from for the cruise ships that we see. The 5th level of the ship was where my human body was in stasis. And there was hundreds of people in stasis that are here on Earth trying to raise the frequency of the planet. My higher self was talking to my hypnosis, and he said, I'm going to pull her out so she can see herself. Well, that was very emotional for me, and I was crying at that point. All the people on the ship, well, there's children on the ship, but everyone appears to be in their 30s. And that's how they came to me during my plant medicine journey. Everyone was young. I do have a husband on the ship, and he is also in human form right now on Earth. I don't have any children on the ship. My higher self brought Emma, my hypnosis, through the ship, also in a hologram, so that people on the ship could see her, and they were waving to her and throwing her kisses. Because we had planned this. We had planned all of this. It was explained that I had left the ship 11 times. There was no animals on the ship, but we have ships that have animals, and that's where Noah's Ark got the idea. We can go back and forth from ship to ship and care for the animals. And I do remember the first time I met my people during my plant medicine journey, I saw one cat, just one cat, and now it makes sense. The animals are on a different ship. The animals will be coming to the earth with the new humans, I want to call them, when the new earth is ready for these new people. The frequency has to be just right for them. It's extremely difficult for me sometimes to be here knowing what it feels like to be out of this human body and in a total different dimension with nothing but love and compassion. There's no negativity. This is what we're working towards. And it's going to take time. My higher self said, this type of ship that holds these people will not be disclosed. There's other ships that will make themselves available for disclosure, but not the ships that are carrying these people. It's too important. Some questions were asked, but I couldn't understand the answers because I can't comprehend the frequency of the answers, if that makes sense. And for me to come down here and be 80% deaf, considered ignorant in school because I couldn't learn, because I couldn't hear, to be learning what I'm learning right now. I've taken a lot of abuse and I've been teased a lot. And I struggled very hard to fit in. We don't have to do that. We don't have to struggle to fit in anywhere. And it's perfectly okay to protect your energy field from anyone who makes you feel add about yourself. I'm a high-ranking military officer. A high-ranking military officer on my ship. And so is my husband. And I miss my people. But I have grandchildren here that need to understand what we're doing here on Earth. By the year 2100, humanity will be completely divided. What they showed me was a round globe, not a flat one, a round globe. And half of it was very bright, clean, fresh air and water, beautiful skies. And the lower half was dark and grim. We will be able to fly into the lower half and rescue animals and people. But the low frequency dark energy will not be able to come up. So there will be parts of humanity that still slip and lose their way, but we'll be able to rescue them when they're ready. By the year 3000, it's done. And what they showed me was I guess you can say every city, and I'm only speaking of the US because that's all I know, but it's worldwide. So every city will have an intelligence that will be able to scan everything and everyone. And if a frequency is off because of, let's say someone commits or tries or even thinks about rape, this person fantasizes about raping, that person's taken away out of the city. They're given a chance to make themselves better, but this intelligence will be able to tell. And if they can't keep their energy peaceful and their thoughts peaceful and stay in harmony, they don't come back. Isn't that the way that the Native Americans used to do it? If a tribe member disrupted the harmony, they were given a chance, but at some point, if they kept disrupting the harmony, they kicked them out. I don't know if I'll have any more lives after this one until the early 3000s, but I do know that I do want to come back and see this earth and what we have done to change her, to help her during her time of change. I know I've had a life on Neptune. I know I've had a life on Mars, and that's where I started. I'll go into those another time. During my last hypnosis session, all I could see and feel was beauty. And we are heading there. It's just we have to clean up this mess. And it is a mess. When I'm doing readings, I don't tap into any political arena. I have tried to tap into what's going on with these so-called tunnels. It was brought to my attention that that will not serve me, that there's others fighting those battles and bringing the awareness. That's not my job. It's not my job to read politics and sway people one way or the other. Not my job. My job is to change the frequency. My job is to clear up this karma that I've accumulated, to heal the damage that my ancestors could not heal. And by God, I've been doing real hard work on that part for the last 4 years. I'm getting slammed with healing. And my grandchildren are not going to have to do it. So what an honor and a privilege for me to be here and do this. I know my channel's not that big, and that's okay. Those who are meant to hear my messages will hear them. I just want to send you love wherever you're at. Please know that you are loved and you are love. You come from Source. You come from Source.